Love is Blind, the reunion. Just finished watching it. We saw all our six couples that made it out of the pods back together again. We got updates on all their lives. We got a little bit of a recap of the season, and we got to see some people kind of get some, I don't know, some closure on a few certain issues that had really been lingering since the show. I think it's interesting to note that we are like a year and a half ish since the show was first shot. So that's quite a bit of time for everyone to reflect and for some of those wounds to heal. Like we saw Jessica, she's very remorseful for her behavior on the show. She seems to have kind of put everything behind her versus, Amber and Barnett, where especially Amber had just seen all of Jessica's behavior for the first time, especially as how it directed to Barnett. She was a little bit heated, and I think you can just see the difference there of a fresh wound versus a wound that's had some time to heal. One major little story point in our reunion was Diamond and Carlton. Obviously, their relationship will never be fully repaired after what went down in Mexico, but they did say that they both sort of extended that olive branch and said, we're not ever going to get back together, but maybe we could at least be friends and be civil with each other, especially if they were going to have to go and sit in the same room together for an hour talking about their experience. So yeah, Carlton apologized for his behavior. I still don't fully buy everything that comes out of his mouth after watching him on the season. I felt he was just not a very genuine person, and I think a lot of that stems from him just not fully being able to be honest with himself on who he is and what he wants in life, and then a step further, not being able to share those things with someone that he was in love with. And ultimately, it led to him sabotaging that relationship, having that huge blow up in Mexico, and being left in really an embarrassing state for anyone to basically have that dirty laundry aired publicly in such an explosive manner as Diamond and Carlton did. They did really try to extend the friendship branch even further. Carlton gave Diamond her ring back and asked if she would be willing to be friends, and she said yes. And it was a good gesture from him. And really, I hope Diamond and Carlton both find happy endings for themselves, wherever life takes them from this point on. Another relationship that really stuck out to me from the reunion was Kenny and Kelly. We see Kenny, he's happy. He says he's in a relationship now. He learned a lot about himself. And then we see Kelly, who maybe was looking like she realized that she had made a huge mistake in pushing Kenny away. There was also a little bit of confusion there because Kelly made it seem like she thought they were both going to say, I don't, and they were going to continue their relationship outside of the show. And as a viewer, we definitely never saw any glimpses of that. Like, we don't know how the show was edited, but it very much seemed like Kenny was fully on board and Kelly was fully off board, and that ended up being what broke them up. Kelly was very emotional talking about it and stating that she's very often and repeatedly in life friend zoned the guys that maybe she should have been trying to get married to. Who else have I missed? So Amber and Barnett, they're still married. It sounded like they've had some rocky times since the show finished filming. So it didn't seem like everything was rosy and perfect over there. You could even see a little bit of tension between Amber and Barnett just sitting on the couch, just even reading his body language. It's not the same as we see especially Cameron and Lauren on the other side, where Lauren is leaning right back into Cameron. Cameron is fully wrapping himself around her versus Barnette, who felt a little rigid and even a little bit turning away from Amber at times during the show. So I don't know exactly where they stand. They're married. Hopefully things continue to improve and get better for them. They really talked about how they had to learn how to, be a couple outside of the show, and you're married, but you're still learning basic things about the other person. That was very, very eye opening, and I hope they can work things out. But yeah, just sort of my interpretation of what I saw there. We should also talk about Jessica. She reached out, apologized for her behavior. She seemed like remorseful for what had gone down, blamed the drinking on a large portion of it. And I think that was pretty apparent to the viewers that Jessica was way overindulging in alcohol on certain moments, and definitely said some very regretful things. I don't think there's any real olive branch there between Jessica and Mark, just outside of they're happy they went through the experience, and both feel that they learned quite a bit from themselves through that experience. Damian and Giannina, we see them back together. They didn't quite go over how they mended things post wedding, but obviously they have. They've been together for what seems like pretty much the whole time since the show ended. So yeah, they're still together. They're happy. They seemed a lot better together than we had seen on the show. So hopefully that means they've both grown quite a bit. And I hope that they continue to have a loving and happy relationship together. Lastly, I just want to say that I thought, like, the whole season, Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey were largely absent from everything. We'd see them pop up here and there, but most of the time you weren't even aware they were the hosts. But Vanessa especially did a fantastic job of hosting this reunion. Really felt like she was actually invested in these people's lives, and happy to see that certain people were happy and got emotional when they were getting emotional. Thought she was asking great questions, and if they bring back a season 2, hope we get to see a little bit more in Nick and Vanessa. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this season with me. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll be doing lots more reality, so stick around and we'll see you later.